Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I've been getting a lot of requests to do an update on the NBA playoffs. I'm busy writing a book right now. It's eating up most of my time, but because so many people are making this request, I want to make this video for you guys. Admittedly, because I've been working on the book, I haven't watched a lot of basketball, but I have been taking notes and I saw some of tonight's game. I want to show you what I have documented so far. I want to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt that these games are scripted to the point, something that I continue to repeat. And the evidence builds. I'm also getting better at this research. This might be the best basketball video I've made yet. I've made some good ones, but I promise you a good video's ahead. So, this isn't tonight's game. This is the last time the Cavs and Raptors played just 2 days ago. At halftime, the score was 47-60. And notice that's a sum of 107 points. In Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into word, Raptors equals 107. And just in case you're new here, the way this works is R is the 18th letter, so it's worth 18. A is the first, so it's worth 1. P is the 16th, it's worth 16. T is the 20th, 20. O, 15. Turn them all into numbers, add it up. Raptors equals 107, 107 points at the half. Ohio happens to be the 17th state. Ohio in Gematria equals 47. This is a very special number to the Freemasons. The Freemasons very much study numbers. They have something called Euclid's 47th problem. It has to do with foundation. In numerology, the number 4 represents foundation, 7 represents complete, 47 in numbers to words kind of means something like complete foundation. So it's a special number. Ohio is one of 2 states with a gematria of 47, again the 17th state. When the Cavs joined the NBA, they made the league have 17 teams. NBA in gematria equals 17. 14 plus 2 plus 1. Halftime in gematria equals 74, the reflection of 47. If you study this channel, you know the significance of these numbers, 47 and 74. So that's what I documented at halftime. I thought that it being 107 points for the Raptors on their home floor, I thought that meant they would finish the game. The margin of 13 points is also interesting because these games are scripted through LeBron James. LeBron James is in his 13th season this year as a pro in the NBA. The word king, his nickname, king, equals 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. In tonight's game that happened May 23rd, the Cavs went 13 for 41 from three-point land, and if you watched the game, you saw Irving pick up the ball and just fire up a three at the last second. It's because these overpaid athletes are actors. They're in on the script. They know what needs to be done. The team probably knew that shot needed to get up. Irving got it up at the end to make them 13 for 41. These games truly are that scripted, which we're getting to. So anyway, when the Cavs won, when the Raptors won, they made the series 2-1 in favor of Cleveland. The Raptors won with 99 points. The Cavs had 84. LeBron James was born in 1984. 84, a very special number in gematria. United States of America equals 84. There's another format where you reduce the letters in sum. United States of America equals 84. When I saw the Raptors won with 99, what it made me think of was how their next game was going to be May 23rd. Here's what I wrote down at the bottom of this post. Wrote this down here. I knew that the next game scheduled was May 23rd, and the number 523 is the 99th prime number. Those of you who follow my work, I said I needed to start paying more attention to primes after what happened in the college championship. So I said, okay, 523, the 99th prime, the next game's on 5/23, May 23rd. I thought that looked favorable for the Raptors, and lo and behold, the Raptors won tonight, and the Cavs finished the game with 99 points. Also, with regards to this 84, today Barack Obama went to Vietnam and he ended a weapons ban that was in place since the year 1984. And the reason that's interesting is because in Gematria, Vietnam equals 84, United States of America equals 84. Vietnam, their international dialing code is plus 84. Obama, his birthday is August 4th, 8/4. And in Jewish Gematria, another related form of Gematria, there's three forms that I really use. They pretty much encompass the majority of what's talked about here. These three forms. They're called Jewish Gematria, Simple English Gematria, Pythagorean Gematria. Anyhow, in Jewish Gematria, Obama equals 84. And think about that. That all happened today, May 23rd. May 23rd is the 99th prime. We just had that flight 804 disappear. It disappeared 804 days after the missing Malaysian airline. When you write out 84, it sums to 804 in English Gematria. What I've been explaining, in addition to sports being scripted by the point, is that sports are connected with the web of mainstream news stories. They are all part of a numerological oriented agenda. And it took me a long time to figure this out, but when I started to clue in was after September 11th, 2001, when the New England Patriots became good out of nowhere in the wake of 9/11 and the Patriot Act and all this fake, phony patriotism being promoted in the mainstream. So anyway, tonight's game at halftime, the score was 41-57. Interesting score. I talked about how King equals 41. The Cavs finished 13 of 41 from three-point land tonight. That's a lot of three-pointers to shoot. 57, a special number. The Cavs finished with 57 wins in the regular season. When you write out 57 as a word, it sums to the same thing as championship, the same thing as Super Bowl. World Series in Gematria equals 57. This last year, when I was saying how everything was set up for the Broncos for the Super Bowl, I exposed this ESPN story where 57 kids from Indiana are named after Peyton Manning, and the story was 1:31. When you write out 57, it sums to 131, just like when you write out championship, it sums to 131, just like when you write out Super Bowl, it sums to 131. Steph Curry just went 131-0, unanimous MVP. Special number. 131 is the 32nd prime number. America equals 32. America was established July 4th, 1776, a date with 32 numerology. So anyway, I was saying it looks like the Cavs are going to lose. I can see the Cavs going back to Cleveland and winning out, finishing the series 4-2 because LeBron James equals 42. NBA Finals equals 42. We'll talk about LeBron James' mother's birthday, February 4th, a date written 4/2, February, the only month with 42 Gematria, in just a moment. But at halftime, LeBron had 16 points. What's interesting about 16 is that the nickname King James has Gematria of 35, 44, and 53. 53 is the 16th prime number. Of course, it is 2016. He was facing the Raptors, coached by Dwayne Casey, who had similar numbers. Get to that in just a moment. So anyway, the Raptors went on to win the game tonight to even the series at 2-2 right now. And today is the 144th day of the year. Very special number. Canada in English Gematria equals 144. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Today's game on a date with 44 numerology. It's been a big number all season. Last year, the Cavs were in their 44th year of existence. Again, King James equals 44. In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, King James scored 44 points. On April 4th this year, the college basketball championship occurred. When you write out April 4th, it sums to 144, just like 44. Villanova won, and the reason I bring that up is because Kyle Lowry, the star of the Raptors, went to college at Villanova. So today's game, May 23rd, the Cavs lose with 99 points. Again, 523, the 99th prime. The number shows up again, this time in the Cavs' loss. The Raptors scored 105. Zionism equals 105. Masonry equals 105. very special number to the Freemasons and the Zionists who run the NBA, who run the world of pro sports, who control media, and who use this scripting they have all throughout history. This goes way beyond sports. My book right now shows how every war from the Revolutionary War forward, including the French Revolution, World War I, II, Civil War, Korean War, Vietnam War, every war you've ever heard of, all scripted by the numbers. And I mean truly scripted, starting on dates, ending on dates, by the same repetitive pattern every single war, meaning that these wars have been orchestrated as a form of giving people of the world a false narrative, and also as a form of needlessly killing people, a form of population control. You know, in America, where we live, you know, with our head in the clouds, this stuff sounds ludicrous to people. But for the record, you guys, I date a girl who's from Burma. Part of the reason I date her is because she's not an American. She's from a land where they have an ongoing civil war dating back to World War II. And she gets it. You know, none of it surprises her. It just all makes sense. She knows that's the way the world is. She came over to America because we don't have a civil war. So for all of you who just like dismiss stuff and go, oh, no way, you guys are living in the clouds. And I'm trying to pull you out of it. They say ignorance is bliss, but it's not going to be bliss someday. Someday, ignorance leads off the cliff. At the end of the game, they stopped the clock with 4.9 seconds. The Masons, the Zionists, they work from the book of Revelation. It's coded into everything. That probably sounds crazy too, and it is crazy, but this is really what they're doing, and this is what my book's going to show, so people don't have to argue with me anymore. But anyway, Revelation equals 49. They love to get their Revelation number in there. If you didn't know, Philadelphia is named after Revelation in the Bible, the nation's original capital where the Warriors are from, who won the first championship in the year 47. Warriors equals 49, just like Revelation. We'll talk more about it in just a moment. At the end, they also paused it with 4.3 after the Raptors player missed both free throws. 43 connects to Civil War, and there's been a lot of Civil War tributes. Today, the Freddie Gray story came up in the mainstream if you followed the news. The Freddie Gray story is from April 12th, 2015 and April 19th. The man was supposedly injured by police in Baltimore April 12th and died April 19th. The Civil War began in Charleston April 12th. The first casualty was in Baltimore on April 19th. I've been talking about this story since it happened. I said it has all these parallels with the Rodney King beating. I said, just watch. They're going to bring this back up the same way they did Rodney King and cause a larger issue. Today that happened. And again, the Freddie Gray story parallels the Civil War. And here's this Civil War tribute today. While Obama was over in Vietnam, the United States participated in Vietnam, which was a civil war. And in my book, I show how the American Civil War perfectly parallels the Korean War, which was a civil war, which perfectly parallels the Vietnam War. And it also perfectly parallels the civil wars that were going on in Yugoslavia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and more. I'm not kidding when I say these people have used the same numbers and done the same thing all throughout history across the world. For people who are going, well, you're just talking about English, you have to recognize what English is. English is the evolution of this agenda. English is a language that was created for this purpose, and it is being the language, or being made the language of the one world order, you know? So here's Kyle Lowry, the star. He had 35 points. He played 44 minutes. Raptors in Gematria equals 35 and 44. 35 points, 44 minutes. 4 of 7 from three-point land. A lot like 47. His teammate scored 32 for a combined 67 points. Freemasonry equals 67. They were sure to talk about that while this stat was up, emphasizing that number. Final score at the end of the game. So here's what tripped me out that I saw. ESPN after the game put this up. Believe in the North with Lowry's stat line. 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Basketball, a game of 5-on-5. Remember, he played at Villanova, and I pointed this out in the college championship. Believe in the North has gematria of 191. 191 is the 43rd prime number. We just talked about 4.3 being put up at the end of the game when it was over. 191, the 43rd prime. Villanova scored 43 points in the second half at their college championship win over the Tar Heels. Tar Heels has gematria of 43. Anyhow, believe in the North equals 191, just like Society of Jesus. And what that is the official name of the Jesuit order, which Pope Francis, the current Catholic Pope, is a member of. He visited the United States this last year. He left the country from Philadelphia September 27th, which is the Jesuit order's birthday, known as the Society of Jesus. From the day that he left, September 27th, until April 4th was a span of 191 days. Villanova, the Catholic school, won the college championship on this date. And if you missed my work on the college basketball tournament, before it began, I talked about how there was a train wreck in Garden City. It happened the day before the tournament started. I said that train wreck came exactly 44 weeks after the Philadelphia train wreck, and there was all these parallels. Last year, I showed how the Philadelphia train wreck, May 12, 2015, connected to the NBA Finals, as well as the Pope. Anyhow, this year, the day before the college championship, after I'd already talked about that, there ended up being another Philadelphia train wreck. And just like last year's Philadelphia train wreck, they said the train was traveling 106 miles per hour. The word prophecy equals 106. Revelation is the book of prophecy, the final book of the Bible. It's normally the 66th book in most Bibles. The name LeBron equals 66. All of this prophecy for the NBA is scripted through LeBron. The Philadelphia train wreck happened last year at 9:23 p.m. The Pope showed up on September 23rd to meet with the president. He took the White House lawn at 9:23 a.m. on September 23rd. The name LeBron James in Jewish gematria equals 923. I know it's a lot. I'm trying to explain it as clearly as what's going on. And the only way all this is possible is to script it, which is what the powers that be do. They work decades in advance. Today's news of Obama being in Vietnam was scripted decades ago, maybe even before Obama was alive. So anyway, we established the significance of 191. It's stamped here in Believe in the North with Kyle Lowry's face, who went to Villanova. This is what's going on all the time, and this is what I want people to know. Show you what's up with these stats right here. LeBron James had 29 points. Ohio, the small way, equals 29. The big way, 47. 109 is the 29th prime. Go look at the Cavs games this year and see how many times they won with 109 points. So check this out. Remember I talked about how Irving grabbed that three and chucked it up at the last second just to get one more shot in to make him 13 of 41. 41, the 13th prime number. LeBron in his 13th season. King equals 41. Well, look at these stats up here as well. 39 of 83 for 47%. Ohio equals 47. The only way this is possible, as far as I know, is to have some sort of device that ensures shots go in or don't go in. And a lot of people think that's crazy. But again, look at my work on the college championship. Look at my work on Kobe's 60-point game to finish his career. The word magnet equals 60. We live in a world of advanced technology. The powers that be have access to things we don't know about. Could some device be in the ball, in the rim, that ensures a shot goes in or not when it needs to be? I think it's totally possible. And from documenting all that I have, it's the only way I can explain what's going on here. So look at this. 83, the 23rd prime number. Think about how LeBron wears 23. The whole thing's scripted through LeBron. LeBron, King, 41, 13th season. King James, the nickname, equals 89. The Cavs went 8 for 9 at the free throw line. Just stop and ask yourself how often a game has single-digit free throws. That is so rare. 41 three-pointers, that's rare. 8 of 9 free throw, that's rare. And did it look like the Cavs were even trying to win tonight? I mean, beyond the numbers, you guys, I'm also an athlete. LeBron, dominant athlete. Did you see his lay-in at the end of the game? He's up at the rim. He could probably dunk it if he wants to. He could touch it off the glass, but what does he do? He flips it up and it doesn't even touch the backboard. It just like hits the rim and falls off. It's because he knows he has to miss. The games are scripted. I don't know exactly how they're communicating to the players. Are there men in the crowd signaling? Is there, are there cues somewhere? Is the coach yelling code words from the sideline? It could be a million different things. But something is going on. All of these games are this way, and it's not just the NBA. 89%, King James equals 89, religion equals 89, the King James Bible. Talk more about that in a moment. Should mention that the word Catholic equals 35 too, in light of Lowry, the Catholic school shooting 35 tonight. JFK, the only Catholic president, the 35th. Catholic 35. What else was there? Here's what else I noticed. 44 points in the paint for the Raptors. Raptors equals 44. Cavaliers equals 36. 36 points in the paint for the Cavs. Why LeBron flipped the ball over the rim at the end instead of putting it in the hoop? I don't know how anyone could watch that and think LeBron really missed. I mean, the guy is a freak. He could have dunked all over the guy. It's just so obvious. And you guys have to understand, the reason I'm so frustrated, the reason I figured this out is because truly since I've been 7 years old, I've seen that the NBA is rigged. I grew up with older people around me. They had me thinking older than I was. I played sports from a young age. I played with older people. I was ahead of my time when I was younger. I've always seen that it's a rigged joke. I'm from Portland, Oregon. They played the Bulls back then in the finals. I still remember how Jordan got away with everything. Travel, foul, everything. Whistle, whistle, whistle for Jordan. I mean, did it look real? I don't know who it looked real to. I don't know how these sports games have ever looked real to anyone. It just drives me nuts. Also on the game, 33 fouls. I'm just paying more attention than I normally do, but I don't think that's any coincidence either. I mean, as a fan, people are often asking themselves, why the hell did they call a foul there? What was the point of that foul? There's no need for that foul. The game's already over. This is why. They're all scripted. The people who script the games are insane. They are control freaks. I guarantee you they hand out, cards for what they want for the night. This is the goal. This is the target. This is what we're doing. So anyway, here's what I want to tell you now about the Western Conference. Well, we're going to still stick with the Cavs for a second, but we're going to get to a little bit of the Western Conference here. You've probably seen this ad. They run it on TNT when the games are on there. They've been doing it all season. I documented this before the season even started. It's been the campaign all year. Kyrie Irving, number 2. LeBron, 23. Kevin Love was 0. And don't you love that? Love with a 0. No love. And I guarantee you, Kevin Love didn't choose to wear the number 0. It's all part of the sick joke. The people who run the world are the sickest people there ever was. They have no love. And they put it on the back of Kevin Love. So anyway, 223, a very special number. It's the 48th prime number. The name James equals 48. His mother's currently 48 years old. The Cavs advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals on Mother's Day. Check this out. These are some 223 words. Masonic equals 223. The Synagogue of Satan equals 223, which is the name given to the false Jews who are said to rule in the end times in Revelation of the Bible. Out of the teams in the NBA, there's one with a 223 gematria, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that LeBron has faced in the finals before and defeated. The NBA Finals in Jewish gematria equals 322, the reflection. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure out who the most likely opponent is for the Thunder. There's been a lot of sinks for a repeat with the Warriors and the Cavs. I've been saying, though, that no matter who the Cavs play, I think it's their year to win. But also, as I documented on Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year, when there was that 5.1 earthquake in Oklahoma City, or not in Oklahoma City, but in Oklahoma, I said, remember this. I said, if Oklahoma City ends up in the finals, this earthquake has something to do with it. I know this probably sounds insane too, but the powers that be, they report either bogus earthquakes or somehow they figured out a way to, like, I don't know, let off detonations in the ground and say that they're earthquakes. We do live in a country that had an underground nuclear weapons testing program for more than 4 decades. Sometimes I wonder if these people planted nukes all over and sometimes set them off, causing earthquakes. Anyway, the date that happened was the 44th day of the year, a big number. It was a date with 51 numerology. There was a 5.1 earthquake in Oklahoma, a record. This year, the Cavs, when they started the season, the city of Cleveland, it had been 51 years since they won a sports championship. We're now getting to the 52nd year. The word prophecy equals 52. We talked about that. But anyway, when it started, it was 51. The word conspiracy equals 51. King James with the S exception equals 51. Cleveland with the V exception equals 51. If there was ever a year Cleveland was going to win a sports championship, it's this year. And so anyway, when I saw that Oklahoma City earthquake, I just said, okay, if they end up in the finals, this is going to be part of it. That was also the day Justice Scalia died, 44, the 44th day of the year, a day known as Lupercalia. Lupercalia equals 44. So does the word kill. 44 has a lot to do with death as well. So anyway, false Jews, the synagogue of Satan, here they are right here. David Stern, Adam Silver. You know what David Stern said? He was the commissioner who came in with Michael Jordan, and back then he said the NBA, it's not about basketball, it's about making stars. And people don't pay attention to these things. It's all just a big show. And they make stars by, building the narrative around them. LeBron is the star of the league. Some people would say Steph Curry has overtaken him. That's not true. I bet you LeBron's still playing when he's 42, and I bet you Curry's career is probably over in the next 5 years with his ankles. LeBron James, going to be unprecedented by the end of his career. He signed the lifetime contract with Nike after Nike turned 44 years old, also just before he played the Portland Trail Blazers. Nike headquartered in Oregon like the Blazers. But anyway, this is the synagogue of Satan right here. These Van Gundy brothers, what are they doing out on a basketball court? Jew midgets? You think these guys even know how to play basketball? The reason they're out there is because the league is a scripted joke. These coaches don't do anything. Van Gundy's there just talking bullshit, annoying the fuck out of everyone. Remember the no love thing. The synagogue of Satan, these Jews who run the show, they are sick people. And I guarantee you they know Van Gundy, one of their own, is a little prick that nobody likes. That's why they put him on the TV, because they just want to piss people off. With these scripted bullshit basketball games that are so easy to see through, you got to be fucking retarded to not. I don't make apologies, People need to wake the fuck up. LeBron James airballing the lane at the rim when the game's on the line. Wake up. Game 1 of the Cavs, or Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Cavs defeated the Raptors with a record margin of victory. Let's see, it's small, but it says 31 points. And LeBron's currently 31 years old. Basketball in Gematria equals 31. 31, the 11th prime number. 31-point win, when LeBron's 31 and it connects to basketball. I hope that's sinking in. Scripted to the point. In Game 2, the Cavs went up 108-89. Remember, King James equals 89. It's scripted through him. ESPN after the game has this clip up, 1:29. Think about it. 60 seconds in a minute, that's 89 seconds. LeBron James smiling so happy. What stands out about 108 is Golden State Warriors equals 108. The Warriors won Game 1 of the NBA Finals over the Cavs last year, 108-100. I remember that game because it went to overtime, 98-98. 98 days after the Warriors and Cavs had played last. And I predicted after that game that it would be the NBA Finals because in that game, LeBron scored 42. And in history, the Warriors and the Cavs had retired Nate Thurman's jersey, number 42. I also predicted last year that the Cavs would win the NBA Finals 4-2. I got that backwards. The Warriors won 4-2. So my prediction, not all right last year. But anyway, those types of things validate my work, saying how it's all scripted to the point. 98 days after they played, the game went to Overtime, 98-98. LeBron scored 44 in the game. He scored the 44th point at the very end, and the announcer screamed about the 44th point. Again, the Cavs were in their 44th year of existence. And also what's interesting is Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year. Lupercalia, the small way equals 44, the big way 98. And from Lupercalia last year to game 1 of the NBA Finals was 111 days. The NBA Finals equals 111. All scripted. All tributes to things that are significant to this gang that runs the show. The Masons who've created our calendar and the festivals and the holidays. In this game, LeBron got a triple-double. The game was on May 19th, which is typically the 139th day of the year. LeBron got his 15th triple-double in this game. 15 days before the start of the NBA Finals. Triple-double equals 139. Freemasonry equals 139. And he did it on May 19th, typically the 139th day of the year. Earlier this season, I did a video on how all of his triple-doubles were scripted by the numbers. You can go back and watch that. His other triple-doubles have been this way with these kind of tributes. His stat line was 23, 11, 11. Think about it. He wears the number 23, 31. The 11th prime, his age is 31. Basketball, 31. So here's LeBron's mom. Again, the Cavs advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals on Mother's Day. They showed LeBron's mom. She's currently 48, just like the name James. Talked about that. 223, the 48th prime. Show you what else is up with this woman. Something I've been explaining is a lot of athletes, they have a lot of strange synchronicities. Their parents, something weird is going on. It's like farming athletes. Her name is Gloria Marie James, which has gematria of 75 and 84. LeBron was born in 84. Again, United States of America equals 84. We talked about the significance of this. New World Order equals 75, and the New World Order is a Masonic Jew world order. Gloria James, the small way, equals 47, like Ohio. First NBA championship in that year, won by the Philadelphia Warriors. Gloria James, the big way, equals 156. That's a special number. When you write out 33 as a word, it sums to 156. When you write out 28 as a word, it sums to 156. Earlier this year, the Golden State Warriors were chasing the Los Angeles Lakers record set 44 years ago by Jerry West, who wore the number 44. Jerry West equals 44. Jerry West is the logo of the NBA. Anyhow, they were chasing that record 44 years old, the same year that the Warriors went to Golden State. The Lakers won 33 in a row. The Warriors streak got stopped at 28. 28 and 33 both sum to 156. They're the only two numbers that do. So does Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks broke the Warriors streak this year and the Lakers streak 44 years ago. No coincidence. Wisconsin also equals 44. Think about how the streaks came 44 years apart. Totally scripted, to the point. You might recall that the Milwaukee Bucks fans had shirts printed out before the game that said, "It's over." It's over in gematria equals 108, just like Golden State Warriors. Scripted. The number 911 is the 156th prime number. To trip you out for a second, in 1968, the World Trade Center construction began. 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, and George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, the Masonic order that identifies by 322. 33 years later, he'd become the president. 9/11 would happen. The buildings lasted for 33 years. The construction firm that built the World Trade Centers, their name in gematria equals 156. Again, when you write out 33, it equals 156. Those buildings were built to be destroyed. Again, my research, it didn't start with sports. I realized how sports overlapped with what was going on in the world in terms of scripting news, wars, and more. The day of her birthday, notice she was born in 68. I just talked about the significance of 68. That's the year Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th. That's the year Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. He was shot on the 156th day of the year. The name Robert Kennedy equals 156. Anyhow, she was born on a date with 93 numerology. 93 represents Saturn. Saturn is the keeper of time. Time in Jewish gematria equals 144. It's also a number that connects to time when you think about it. There's 1,440 minutes in a day, 12 hours in the morning, 12 hours at night. 12 times 12 is 144. 12 months in a year. The square root of 144 is 12. Anyhow, Saturn's the keeper of time. And it's a very special number, especially to Israel, which was drawn up in history on September 3rd. Again, it's the Zionists, the Masons, the Jews running the show by the numbers. She was also born on a date with 74 numerology like Masonic, and February 4th, a date that can be written 4-2. LeBron James equals 42, February equals 42. It's a number negatively stamped over black Americans all throughout history. Jackie Robinson, first black baseball player in white baseball, wore 42. The N-word equals 42. So, over in the other series, the Thunder just won their second game. They won with 133 points, defeated the Warriors with 105. Oklahoma City equals 133. Again, we're talking about scripting to the point. But let me take you back to game one. In game one, what stood out to me is this right here. The Thunder won with 108 points. Again, Golden State Warriors equals 108. It made me think the Warriors, or it made me think that the Thunder have the Warriors number. Earlier this year, I made the videos showing how the Warriors defeated the Thunder twice in 1 week, both with 121 points. Warriors equals 121. And I said in those videos, I said, it just shows that the games are scripted. If these games were real, the Thunder are a bigger, more dominant team, and there's no way they would lose to the Warriors like this. Making Steph Curry look like a superhero when, in a lot of ways, he's just the beneficiary of games that are scripted for him right now. But this win here was symbolic for me. The Thunder defeating with 108 points. 102, another special number. United States of America equals 102. We were talking about the Civil War. Slavery equals 102. Lincoln ended up dying at the end of the war on a date with 102 numerology. Again, it was a war to save the Union, United States of America. 102, it began April 12th, the 102nd day of the year, just like the Freddie Gray thing on the 102nd day of the year. If the Warriors end up losing the series, I'm not sure that they're going to lose yet, but a lot is lining up for the Thunder. If the Warriors end up losing, remember that they got 73 wins, the new record. The word sacrifice equals 73. Maybe they get all the big records this year, but then they don't make it to the finals. So anyhow, in the latest game, 133 points. Oklahoma City, 133. I noticed that Durant scored 33. One of the first videos I ever made on this channel, back when I was, a lot greener at this research, what I had already picked up on is how all throughout NBA history, 33 is really important. One of my first videos is the NBA is a 33 league. Kobe equals 33. Michael equals 33. So many superstars equal 33. Anyhow, Kevin Durant dropped 33 points. Westbrook got 30. That's a combined 63 points, and 63 is a big number this year. The game was on a date with 63 numerology, and when you sum 1 through 63, it sums to 2016, like the year. Also, just wanted to point this out about Steph Curry's three-point record in terms of scripting. This year, the United States of America is 239 years old. The longest length of the three-point line, the arc, is 23 feet, 9 inches, kind of like 239. 239, a very special number to the Jews. Torah equals 239. In their belief, they say the Messiah will arrive through the Golden Gate. Golden Gate equals 239. Think about the Golden Gate Bridge not being far from Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, the first player to make more than 400 three-pointers in a season, 402. Well, earlier this year, I documented this, and I want to document it again about the Warriors and Thunder. They played on February 28th, 2016, and then they played again March 3rd, the game that Prince went to. Prince would die 49 days after that game, supposedly. But anyway, on February 28th, the Warriors defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look at this timestamp, the numbers we're talking about. In this game, they defeated the Thunder 121 to 118. Again, Warriors equals 121. Revelation equals 121. Philadelphia, named after Revelation, the Warriors from Philadelphia. This game summed to 239 points. And because it was on the date of February 28th, did I write this down here? I forgot to write it down, but because it was on the date of February 28th, 2/28, United States of America equals 228 the big way. A lot like 2/28. And right now the country is 239 years old. These teams combined for 239 points on a date that's a lot like United States of America. The name Martin Luther King Jr. the big way equals 228. Think about Black History Month closing out on that date. Martin Luther King Jr., the only American to have a holiday named after him. He died at the Lorraine Motel, which has the same gematria as United States. Whole lot more to it than that. Died on April 4th. But these dates, these numbers, they're significant. And the reason they scored 239 points on this date is because that's how old the country is. It was a clue for what was to come in the NBA Finals. The Warriors also got their 53rd win on that date. 53, the 16th prime, connecting to King James. These are the reasons I'm torn right now on what the NBA Finals is going to be. It's funny that a year ago, with less knowledge, based on what I knew, I could see how clearly the finals were going to be Warriors, Cavs. I never came off it. But this year, the coding, it seems more layered. So a little bit more torn this year. It could go either way in the Western Conference. But again, whoever wins, I'm quite certain the Cavs will take the NBA Finals. Curry had 46 points in this game. 46, a special number in the King James Version of the Bible. Psalm 46 has a coded 666 tribute, another number that connects to the NBA Finals. Let you think on it. I've shown this before. I just want to show it again. Again, 44 is the huge number. I've talked about it in every single video I've made on the NBA this year. In the playoffs, they showed this stat with Steph Curry and Reggie Miller. Steph Curry surpassing Reggie Miller's, or tying his record at 44 straight games with a three-pointer. He's since broken that record. Earlier this year, I also talked about how Steph Curry and Reggie Miller even had similar traits in the face. Joking that maybe they're cloned from the same test tube. Number 30, number 3. 30 in numerology is just like 3. Kind of like 33. Stephen equals 33 and 42, Reggie 42. Also interesting, want to point this out, the total span of days from Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year, until the start of the NBA Finals this year, June 2nd, is 111 days. Again, the NBA Finals equals 111. On Lupercalia, there was the 5.1 earthquake in Oklahoma. And there's a whole lot of 51 going on with the Cavs this year. Lupercalia was also a date with 51 numerology. Just remember that should it end up being Cavs and Thunder. That will be the major clue. In terms of the scripting to the point and everything I'm talking about, I also want to revisit this. Notice the gematria of Michael Jordan, 113. Notice the gematria of Kobe Bryant. When spelled correctly. Kobe Bryant, 113, just like Michael Jordan. The word mainstream equals 113. Pro sports, very mainstream. The word dishonest also equals 113, and the reason this is important is because in the Bava Kama 113a, which is a Jewish text, it says a Jew may lie to a Gentile, which is someone who's not a Jew, And the rule is 113. And I want you to think about dishonest being 113. If you follow my channel, I show how in all the mainstream propaganda, they always code this number. Number having to do with lying. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is in English gematria, Kobe Bryant equals 678, Michael Jordan equals 678. English gematria is just simple English gematria times 6. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan retired exactly 678 weeks apart. 678 weeks apart to the day. Kobe Bryant, he finished his career against the Utah Jazz. Kobe Bryant was drafted out of high school playing his basketball in Philadelphia. Michael Jordan played his last game against the Philadelphia 76ers. At the beginning of this NBA season, Darryl Dawkins died and then Moses Malone. They died 17 days apart, like NBA equals 17. They died by the numbers. Moses Malone died at age 60. Kobe Bryant finished his career with 60 points. Moses Malone played the majority of his career with the Philadelphia 76ers. Moses Malone was drafted out of high school, the first player into the NBA by Utah. Kobe finished his career scoring 60 against the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz in gematria, they are the only team that sums to 113. All of this is part of a sick riddle. Athletes are murdered by the numbers, games are scripted by the numbers, and all by this Masonic Jewish gang. And they've been doing it ever since these leagues existed. This is what I so desperately want people to see. This year, while Kobe Bryant was finishing his NBA career, the Warriors were also playing. The Warriors game was on ESPN1. Kobe's final game was on ESPN2. The Warriors ended up breaking Michael Jordan's Bulls win record at 73 games. In the season that Jordan and the Bulls set the record, their 73rd game was against Del Curry, the father of Stephen Curry, who went on to break the record 73 wins. Kobe Bryant, his father was Joe Jellybean Bryant, who was drafted 41 years earlier by the Golden State Warriors. Golden State, the small way, equals 41. Kobe Bryant, the small way, equals 41. Again, 41, the 13th prime. Think about that connection with King and LeBron and out of high school as well. So anyway, this is how the league is. It's scripted through the families, through the bloodlines. Joe Jellybean Bryant was drafted 41 years ago, the 14th overall pick by the Golden State Warriors. And then Kobe and the Warriors, finish on this same night with these big finishes. The Warriors setting the record, Kobe going out with 60 points. Moses Malone died at 60. The N-word, the big way, equals 60. And I don't think that's any coincidence. The word Negro equals 59. The word Black Mamba equals 59. They were calling it Black Mamba Day, which has gematria of 213. Moses Malone died 213 days earlier. 213 is kind of like February 13th, the 44th day of the year. I talked about how 44 has to do with killing. This is what's going on. Undeniable. It's just so sick. I'm just trying to make a video where finally people watch it and they can't argue. Somehow people try to argue with me every video. I just want people to understand and accept and see how wrong this is and why people need to stop supporting. That means stop giving money to these leagues that go to these madmen that are deceiving all their fans, wasting everyone's time, breaking people's hearts. You might also heard there was this recent strange death of the Dayton Flyers. Stephen McIlvaine dies at age 20. College player in Ohio, where the Cavs are. He played for the Dayton Flyers. Flyers has gematria of 85 like basketball. The small way, 31, also like basketball. Dayton, Ohio equals 125. This guy dropped dead May 12th. A date that can be written 12/5. Just dropped dead, a 20-year-old man, an athlete, in shape. His name, Steve McIlvaine, has gematria 51. I talked about the 51-year drought in Cleveland Pro Sports Championships at the beginning of the Cavs season. His last name, McIlvaine, also has gematria of 79, like murder. The date he died, which again can be written 12/5, like Dayton, Ohio. Here's what else is interesting about that date. 53 numerology, like King James, like religion. 26 life lesson number. That's the God number. This year, the NBA Finals start on 2/6 or 6/2. The name Jordan equals 26 or 62. So does the word Mason, short for Freemason. It was a date with 17 numerology. Ohio 17. This guy played basketball in Ohio. The word killed a small way equals 17. Also a date with 33 numerology, a number connected to sacrifice. Think about Jesus on the cross at age 33. The date 12/5 also looks like 125, which has gematria of 223, connecting back to Masonic and the Synagogue of Satan. These people really do either murder people as ritual sacrifice or have them fake their deaths. But I'm having trouble imagining them convincing a 20-year-old college basketball player to fake their death when they have their entire life ahead of them. This is what you're supporting when you support these leagues. Ritual murder. The NBA Finals again start this year on a date with 44 numerology. Apparently, he was from New Haven, Indiana. Think about Indiana and basketball, Larry Bird. Anyway, New Haven, Indiana has this gematria of 144, a number connected to death all throughout history. First president to die in office died on April 4th. April 4th equals 144, like we talked about. Martin Luther King Jr. died on that date. Malcolm X died on a date with a life lesson number of 44. 44 connects to 144. JFK was the 44th term president, died on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius equals 144. His brother Bobby Kennedy died at 1:44 in the morning. New Haven also has gematria at 38, like death. Anyway, this is what I've seen so far. Like I said, I haven't been watching a lot of basketball. I already know it's rigged. I'm not trying to prove myself anything. I put out this research, this work, in the hopes it wakes up other people. So sports fans don't have to keep having their hearts broken over lies. You know, they keep showing all these fans up in Canada that are all excited over the Raptors. You know, these people will lift you up just to put you down. That's what they do with all the sports fans. You know, predetermined leagues, predetermined outcomes. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.